your flesh and blood.
And welcome to the Body of Health on Tell Me Your Story. I'm Reverend Dr. D, and welcome back, Dennis. It's great to have you with us here on the program. Dennis Henson, my co-host, and we are glad you've tuned in today, and we have a fantastic, life-changing show that is lined up for you. So, Dennis, what questions will we be answering today?
Well, thank you, Richard. I really appreciate you having me. Welcome to all our listeners. This week is going to be really good. We're going to focus on how I recovered from having stroke after stroke after stroke, how I took control of my health, the steps that I used to do that, and to strengthen the steps I used to strengthen each organ and create a shield against disease and build a smoothly running machine so that all of my systems and organs are working together. I'm going to share that with you so you can put those same 39 habits into place and change your health.
Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be an incredible program. And I know, too, that our listeners, they are looking for real actionable ways to basically take their health back into their own hands, which is a rather interesting way of phrasing it, only because we do tend to turn it over to the medical professionals, not taking anything away from them, but it is always our responsibility. And your personal story is a great, powerful testament to what is possible. So where should we start?
Well, before we get started, we need to mention that neither of us are doctors. We haven't had any medical experience. We're just speaking from our personal experience and the studies that we've done. So you should certainly go and seek your own medical advice before doing any of the things that we recommend.
Absolutely. Could not agree with you more. Dennis, you post articles up on a website, bodyofhealth.com, and you have an article that I just finished reading.
Bodyofhealth.life.
I beg your pardon. I don't know why I keep saying that. Bodyofhealth.life. And you have an article there called the Body of Health Longevity Shield. Now, as you pointed out, the human body is a miraculous machine, and one that, if cared for properly, can function at peak capacity for almost a century. Now, my father would talk, and I keep using the analogy of automobile. My father told me, if you do the maintenance while you're making payments on the car, the regular oil, lube, and filter, I even consider a car wash to be part of general maintenance for your vehicle. But you do those things, and guess what? When you've got that final payment made, you won't be making any more payments because you've taken care of that car. And that's very important. So to accomplish our Longevity Shield protocol, what would a person need to do first? And no, do not go through the car wash with the windows down.
Well, pillar number one is nutrition and digestion. So let's take it from there.
All right. So what does it mean to be fully hydrated?
Most people would think if you drink enough water, you'd be fully hydrated. And that's possible, but not really highly likely. In order to stay fully hydrated, your water needs a little boost. I use Celtic salt. You can use sea salt, you can use Himalayan salt, you can use electrolytes, or however you'd like to do it. But the easiest and the most productive way, I think, would be just take a pinch of Celtic salt in the morning, put it under your tongue, drink a glass of warm water, and do that several times a day, and you will stay fully hydrated, which is absolutely necessary to have a healthy body. If you're walking around dehydrated, you're asking for a stroke, a heart attack, dementia, and any number of other things. So don't ask nature to kill you. Give it the help it needs to have your body running smoothly.
And on the water issue, you're talking about putting salt in the water, warm water for this purpose. But is there a better kind of water than not so much? Because again, a lot of people are concerned, for example, with tap water.
Well, yes, we have a really nice filter, so our water is all filtered. It's not reverse osmosis; that's too much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's filtered water. The very best water for you is spring water, but you can't always get that. So it's much easier to get a nice filter for your home so that you're at least getting most of the bad parts out of your water.
And obviously do the research necessary to put the right filter in for yourself. Now, here's one that a lot of people are going to have challenges with, and that is how to avoid eating harmful foods. If you watch too many of the documentaries, basically you can't eat anything because um, reminds me of that Barney Miller episode where the guy was behind the wall, the bars there, and was talking to one of the guys, and he was guys, and so he asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm eating." "What are you talking about?" "Oh, I'm a breatharian, and all I take in is air." Well, that is not going to work. That is not going to work. So, talk to us about how to avoid eating harmful foods.
Not for long. You know, when I got out of the hospital with my first stroke, they gave me a diet,
Mm-hmm.
and we started on that. And I told Norma, I said, I don't know if I want to continue living if this is all I'm going to be able to eat for the rest of my life. But luckily, she was a genius and went out and found a lot of really, really great things. But the things you should absolutely avoid would be processed meats. Uh, I loved hot dogs. My mother made hot dogs when I was a young kid, and I kind of grew up on them. But as I grew older, I started to realize every time I ate a hot dog, the next day I wasn't feeling well.
Mm.
You know, it was like it was poisonous to me. And in truth, it was. It just worked faster with me. Uh, I know it's awful to give up hot dogs, but that's processed, just one of the worst processed meats. And then you can go to these places where you get these sandwiches. You
Mm.
know, you get the what club sandwiches.
Yeah.
And there's several of them. You know that big franchises, but all of that meat is highly processed. The vegetables and thing, and well, maybe not even the bread because you shouldn't be eating white bread with bleached wheat. That's bad for you also. And it probably also has the bad oils, which is another thing that you should not, the seed oils like corn oil. So the harmful foods would be processed meat, uh, white flour, bad oils. There's
Mm.
there's an article on the website about the white foods to avoid,
Oh, yeah.
which would be table salt, sugar. Absolutely, sugar is will kill you. It's absolute poison. Bleached wheat, uh, white rice,
Mm-hmm.
and milk.
Mm.
So
Now,
now fermented milk is not as bad, but fermented dairy has some good things that kind of offset the bad things. But if you just drink sweet milk all the time, sweet milk was intended to turn a small animal into a 1,000-pound cow.
yep.
So it's kind of uh, overdoing it.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of people do drink milk their entire life. But if you want your systems to all work smoothly, take these 39 ideas and make them habits, and I'll guarantee you'll feel a lot better and live a lot longer.
Absolutely. Well, on the converse side, we need to be eating a nutrient-rich diet, and I want to just touch on the dairy or the milk in particular in terms of that. And you talked about fermented dairy in that respect. One of my favorites, in addition to yogurt, kefir. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. I love that. I don't know why. I just do. It's just really good.
yes, it's good for you. Yeah.
So
The
what
first,
about this eating nutrient rich diet?
well, you want to eat things that will fuel your cells, vegetables, leafy greens, fruits, colorful foods, foods that have been alive or are still alive in the recent history. Um, Grass-fed beef is really, really good for you. It's good for your muscles, keeps them strong and growing your entire life. So when you go to the grocery store or when you go to purchase your food, don't go to the canned food or frozen food section. Go to the foods that are alive, where they have a freezer there, and there's carrots and beans and all kinds of things that you can take home. Celery is really good for you, and broccoli sprouts. I guess the three best things would be spinach, seafood, and broccoli sprouts. Those would be the three vegetable type foods, and then grass-fed beef and eggs. So give your body good, good food consistently, and stay away from the bad things. Stay away from the frozen food aisle or the canned food aisle.
Hmm. Well, I know that we're kind of doing this all the time in terms of our diets. We customize it, but I want to find out a little bit more about this aspect of custom proteins. What is that?
Well, you want to take things that like the beef, grass-fed beef, that feed your muscle. They prevent physical decline. For a long time, I thought that maybe my stroke had something to do with eating beef, and I stopped. But further research convinced me that beef is really good for you. I mean, it's something that you should make a staple in your diet because of what it does for your muscles. You know, your heart's a muscle. If it stops working, everything else does. So
Hmm.
you want to make sure that you give it what it needs in order to grow and prosper. And grass-fed beef and fish, several kinds of fish, pork chops. My wife fixed pork chops a couple of nights ago, and I hadn't had them in a while. And oh, wow, those were really delicious.
Well, the next item on our agenda here has to do with fats. Now, my wife and I we've bought one of these big old tri-tips. We also like pork tenderloin and so forth. And though I do love the meat, there's an aspect of that I just taste so good. Not that I'd sit there and eat a plate of it, but it's having to do with eating healthy fats. Talk to us about that.
Well, your body needs the healthy fats in order to operate smoothly. Some of the supplements you can add would be MCT oil, which is a derivative of coconut oil. We had we had put an ad up just saying what I just said, and it was rejected because they said we were trying to promote some hallucinogenic substance. They got they got MCT oil confused with some other oil that came from cannabis, but
Yeah,
MCT oil is
TMC, I think, or yeah, TBS or something. Yeah, I know what you're
yeah,
talking about. Yeah.
you're right. But MCT oil, I mean, I'm drinking it right now.
Hmm.
Every time I put morning clarity, I put a drop, and it works so well. Sometimes you can't sleep because your wife is wiggling, or something happened in the night and you just didn't get a full night's sleep, and you think, oh, I've got so many things to do tomorrow and I don't want to be sleepy. Well, you get your morning clarity, you put the MCT oil in it, and we've got two new creamers. One of them is collagen, it's vanilla flavored, and the other one is coconut. Oh, I love the coconut.
Mm.
So I put all those things in, and I drink my coffee, and all of a sudden, I'm not sleepy anymore. I feel really great. I see you're drinking yours also.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
So for a lot of years, people switch from um, lard to Crisco.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big mistake. Crisco is just plastic.
Mm.
You're eating plastic. So um, healthy oils are good for you. Don't avoid those. Especially, you want to make sure that you get MCT, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil. If you ever start getting a cold or a headache, you can take a spoonful of extra virgin olive oil, and it acts better than an aspirin.
Oh,
An
yeah.
aspirin's good for you, thins your blood, but it's not good for your stomach. But the extra virgin olive oil is not just good for you, it also it's like a painkiller, more effective than aspirin. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
But don't take my word. Give it a try. See what you think.
Check it out.
I'm
Check it
not a
out.
doctor. Check with your doctor.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the next one here is still along the lines of fats, but this one, I think, one of the places where it comes from is from the ocean, and we're talking about omega-3 fatty acids that come from, am I correct, fish and
Yes,
seafood?
fish oil, seafood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're critical for your heart and brain protection and for your joints. You know that I walk every day, right? I walk a lot. Cooper and I take walks every single day. Yesterday it rained on us. We were soaked when we got home, but we got our steps in. Sometimes my knees start, I'm 78, so sometimes my knees start to feel a little bit like they don't want to go.
Yep.
I just increased the omega-3 and goes away immediately, goes away. Now,
Wow.
I take omega-3 every day, but if my joints start to stiffen or I feel any pain at all, I take twice as much and it clears it right up.
Yeah. Now, does this have anything to do with the change in weather? Because there are those who say their joints start feeling a certain way. It's like, there's rain a coming.
Well, my wife literally gets sick when the humidity increases. I mean, she gets headaches and has to go to bed. And she was diagnosed. There's a name for it,
Yeah.
but it's she reacts to humidity
Yeah. I'm guessing it's a
adversely.
change in barometric pressure.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
And I can understand that. Our systems are they're wonderful and miraculous, but they're also delicate. I mean, we are a fragile creature. I mean, so that's why it's so important that we take care of ourselves, because it is so easy to throw everything out of whack. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to remind you who are listening and watching. Dennis Henson and I are here. We are not doctors, as we continually say. Please check with your professional medical person. But this is Body of Health, the series here on Tell Me Your Story with Dennis Henson and Reverend Dr. D. We are going to continue on. We're moving into pillar number 2. I kind of feel like we're building some kind of Roman structure with all of these pillars here, that are holding up whatever it is. Well, what we're holding up with these pillars is our health and wellness, our longevity, we hope. And now we're going to talk about pillar number 2 in regards to digestion, detoxification, and supplementation. And this is a big one I've been seeing of late, Dennis, and that has to do with gut health.
Well, gut health is very important. It's what lets all of this great nutrition you're putting in your body assimilate and be used by the body. And if it's not working properly, then you may have a real problem, not just the pain and irritation that it causes, but the body will not be able to get the kind of things that it needs in order to operate smoothly. So for gut health, you always want to take probiotics and prebiotics. Now, very few people think about the prebiotics, but they're important too. And you can also get your bacteria during your meal by using the fermented dairy, sauerkraut, There's a number of foods that are sour. I love sauerkraut.
Oh, me too.
And that's a good way. You don't have to take the prebiotics or the probiotics. You just eat the sauerkraut, and you got exactly what you need. So an important thing here is that your digestion must be constant and consistent. You can't go 2 or 3 days and say, well, I didn't have time to go to the restroom. No, 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 no. That's a no-no. You're just asking for trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that your digestive system is number one thing. It needs to be running smoothly and not have a bunch of problems. Drinking celery juice is one way to improve your digestion system. And another thing you can drink is cabbage juice. Either one or both of those, or mix them up. Those things are super for healing. My daughter has a disease of her digestion, and once it takes hold, it's hard to reverse. But if you can avoid it in the first place, so that you never have it to begin with, you'd think, well, you're saying all these things that work. Why don't it fix her? Well, she doesn't listen. If I say it, it can't be right. But sometimes she listens, and she's had some improvement.
Well, I know too that because see, it's like the digestive system feeds into several other systems. All right. In addition to feeding the necessary nutrients, let's say, into the bloodstream, the lymph system, and so on and so on, it is also a filtration and how can I put this delicately? It's the exhaust system, as it feeds the exhaust system, if you will, using the car analogy. And so it's real important that we put into it that. And I've often wondered this, Dennis, so sort of a sidebar thing, if it was even possible to consume the things that were nutritious for us and not have any exhaust. I mean, I would think that there'd be a way to at least minimize it, because I would think that there was a time when, although the system's there, don't get me wrong, obviously that's part of our system, but I would think there might be a way, because we do the same thing with our cars. We refine the fuel that goes in so that it burns cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, so there's less coming out the tailpipe. So I that's just a sidebar thing. Let's talk a little bit about, because this is part of that process, is maximize fiber intake.
I read an article that said if you wanted to add years to your life, there's a simple way to do it, and that is to eat more fiber. And that's really easy to do. Lots of vegetables and fruits and vegetables have a lot of fiber. Oatmeal has fiber. It's a grain, so it does have some negative, but I think the positive for oatmeal, it outweighs the negative because it's so fibrous, and it tastes so good in cookies and cupcakes. So maybe that's why I let it kind of fit in there. Eating an apple every day. Eating popcorn. Now, the problem with popcorn, two problems with popcorn is you cannot use the wrong kind of oils when cooking the popcorn. You need to use extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. You need to be careful what kind of oil you put in there. And the salt. You do not want to put table salt on the popcorn. You want to put Celtic salt or Himalayan salt or sea salt. And another great thing for popcorn is to put cayenne pepper. Don't much, but some. It gives it a little bit of a kick. If you're going to snack, boy, that's something that's really, really good for you to snack on. So fiber, maximizing your fiber helps to feed your microbiomes. And it's just really, really good for longevity. So if you don't have the habit of eating fiber every day, getting it into your system, You just need to form that habit.
Absolutely. Absolutely there. Now, some might say, well, if I'm eating lots and lots of fiber, I'm probably doing this too. But there's a big difference between eating lots of fiber to keep the system flowing and detox. Talk to us about that.
Well, detoxing is really important because everybody has parasites that has an animal. And how many people have an animal? You know, if you got a pet that you pet, a cat or a dog or a squirrel or whatever, you're going to get their parasites. And everybody has toxins. Everybody has plastics because in the American diet, there's so many plastic bottles, and those microplastics get into your system. And heavy metals. If you're walking down the road and a big truck passes and you inhale that exhaust, you're getting heavy metals in your system and you don't even realize it. So it's important that you eliminate all of these things consistently so your body has the chance to be healthy and work like a well-oiled machine. So how do you do that? How do you eliminate parasites, toxins, and plastics? Well, you have to detox. That's the habit you need to form. Before you detox, the week before you detox, you need to start taking a binder. I like to do this first. Vitamin C flush. Take a binder for a week. Do your detox, which is black walnut hull, wormwood, and cloves. You take all of those things together and do those for about a week, and then continue to take your binder. Then your body will be so it's set into such a position so that everything can start working right. Where if it's always fighting the parasites, which you probably have and don't know about, parasites are, people who have cancer, people who have dementia, I can almost, I can't say I can guarantee, but the chances are extremely high that they have parasites in their body and they haven't done anything about them. So maybe that's something you need to consider. If you're facing any kind of long-term illness, it could be something as simple as that, just doing the detox, and do it quarterly, every 4 months, January, March, April, May, June, every 4 months, say, oh, time to detox, put it on your calendar.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there's another element to put on your calendar too, because this is something that can be done short-term, mid-term, or long-term, and that has to do with scheduled fasting.
Right. I'm fasting right now. I'm doing the intermittent fast. I always know when it's time. I don't have to put it on my calendar, because when I can't button my pants, it's time to do the intermittent fasting. My wife fixes, I was almost starving to death after the strokes because of the diet that I had. She jumped in and found things that are really, really good. They're good for me. They're good to eat. And she fixes me 3 large meals a day. I usually eat about half of what she puts in front of me. She's Mexican, so she likes to feed the family. And I love to eat it, and it's good for me. But when my stomach gets to the point where it's coming over, I'm a thin person anyway, but when it's coming over the belt and I can't button my pants, that's what happened before the stroke. And I don't want to have another one. So intermittent fasting is really easy. I just stop eating at 7. I don't eat breakfast, and then I don't have lunch till 12:30, which leaves a 16, 17-hour window every day to give my body time to catch back up. And then the 3-day fast is something that you, again, do quarterly, probably not the same month. Maybe 1 month you'll detox, the next month you'll do the fast, and then you'll take a month off, and now it's time to go again. But those are healthy habits. And then once a year, I read about a guy yesterday that weighed almost 400 pounds. And he did a full diet where he only drank water and coffee and what? It was one of broth.
Ah,
Yeah. He did that for over a year. He fasted for an entire year and then had a picture of him, and he looked like me and you. He wasn't 400 pounds anymore. I think it was 380 something days that he fasted, and then he ate an apple.
mm,
But all that weight, he consumed the weight. That's what fasting does. Put you
yeah,
into autophagy, and then your body is consuming the fat that you've already stored, which is, it's food, and
yeah.
it keeps you alive. And I guess if you weigh 400 pounds, it'll take care of you for a year.
Obviously, yeah. Well, I've seen that one program. I think it's like something like my 600-pound friend or something like that, and
Yeah.
it's dealing with this doctor who does these different programs. I mean, he's dealing more with surgery and those types of things, but also telling him, look, you've got to change your diet. I mean, that's really the bottom line, which kind of drops into our next element here on pillar number 2, and that's avoiding toxic products. Now, the rule that I remember as I was growing up, and this was after I moved out of my parents' house back in, what was it, 80 or 81? Anyway, was when you go to the grocery store, only shop around the edges. Do not shop in the middle of the store because that's where all the processed foods are. So let's talk a little bit about how to avoid toxic products.
Well, the toxic products that's referring to here would be things you put on your skin,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of soaps that you use when you take a bath, the things that you soak in, the kind of things you put on your face and rub on your hands, or maybe the what you put on sunscreen.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be really careful about the things that your skin's the largest organ in your body, and it's highly absorbent. It will, if you put something on your skin, the skin is just pores, it's just filled with pores, it will get into your body. And if you put the wrong things on there, your body has to deal with it. And sometimes it causes some serious problems. So you need to read the ingredients. And what I do, I don't use sunscreen at all. I walk in the sun every day. That's my sunscreen. By walking in the sun every day, my body adjusts to that. So I don't need sunscreen. I never burn. I could be out in the sun, and then I do the saunas where I can get in a room with in 170-degree temperature. So my body has adjusted to those things, and I'm much more healthy because of that.
Yeah. Well, there are a couple things here I'm going to kind of put these together. You had already mentioned this one in particular, and that has to do
Right.
with doing a vitamin C flush to clear the system. Let's talk a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Well, your body has a tolerance to vitamin C. You can only take so much. But the thing is, you need to take as much as you can. The vitamin C flush is a good way to check the tolerance. So if you take a scoop of vitamin C powder and put it in a glass of water and drink that down, it's going to taste terrible. I mean, oh God, it just, the thought of it is awful. But you do that every 15 minutes. I think if you look up vitamin C flush, it says 30 minutes. Some of them say 45 or a minute. I do it every 15 minutes because I don't have time to mess with a full day of a vitamin C flush. I like to get it done in a couple of hours. Okay. So for every 15 minutes, you take a scoop, put it in a glass of water and drink it down. And you count how many times. You literally write it down because you'll forget. You write it down, and if it's 15 times, that's your tolerance. If it's 20 times, that's your tolerance. Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how are you going to know when you've reached your tolerance?
That's a good question.
Because you're going to have to go. Mother Nature's going to call, and it's an urgent call. And so when that happens, that's going to clean your digestive system out, and it's going to give you the vitamin C that you need. Plus, it's telling you you can do anything less than that every day and get that much vitamin C. Now, personally, if you're recovering from a stroke or a heart attack or dementia or anything else, cancer, you want to get as much vitamin C in your body as you possibly can. So starting with this test and then taking it forward, you form the habit of pushing that vitamin C into your body to give it the chance to solve the problems. There's a lot of research on vitamin C. I would highly suggest that you go and start reading about it. It is amazing what it can do for you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to combine these next two because there's quite a number of them, and we're talking about taking vitamins and also minerals that help to support this process, and we're also talking about the supplements. And I realize there are those who remember this phrase that I take so many supplements and stuff, I rattle when I walk. But there's a way that you can sort of minimize that. Let's talk a little bit about these three together, starting with the vitamins. I mean, we got the alphabet here, that kind of thing.
Well, if you are only going to take 5, if you're only going to take 5, this looks like more than 5, but you can get the D3 and K2 together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then the vitamin E, the vitamin C, the B complex, and the multiple vitamin. That's your minimum. If you want to take vitamins, you should take more than this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the absolute minimum. You make a habit of every day, I'm going to get my D3, K2, E, C, B complex, and take a multiple vitamin to kind of fill in the blanks. That's a good start. Then you do the research on the other vitamins that's going to solve the problem that you have. For example, if you have arthritis,
mm-hmm.
there is a certain vitamin that you need to take that helps with the arthritis, where other people might not need that one so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that when you take it, it gives you a flush. Niacin. Okay. So if you take niacin, there's 2 kinds of niacin, one that don't give you the flush and one that does. It's the niacin flush. If you have arthritis, you need to take niacin every day, 3 times a day,
mm-hmm.
because it helps with the arthritis. It gives your body the things it needs to help with the tendons and the ligaments and the little cartilage is what I couldn't come up with.
Mm-hmm.
It helps rebuild the cartilage, which is the main problem with the arthritis. So anyway, as far as the minerals go, magnesium is absolutely, your heart doesn't work without magnesium. So you're definitely got to take that. Magnesium glycinate's the best kind. I take all 4 kinds. I take mostly the glycinate. And then the Celtic salt will give you all of the other trace minerals that you need just by putting it under your tongue several times a day, drinking the water, you're getting hydrated and you're getting the minerals that you need. As far as supplements go, nitric oxide is what saved my life. And you can get that through L-arginine and citrulline. You can get it from beet juice. There's a number of different ways. I did a video from my website that said the way to get the most nitric oxide, the fastest and the cheapest way is by humming. It gives you 15 times more nitric oxide than beet juice, just by humming. And so I like to hum Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just pick a song and say, I'm going to do this, or Rocky or whatever. Pick a song, and every morning when you're getting ready or walking to work or going to your car or going from your car to your office or whatever, just hum real loud. No one has to hear you.
Right.
That's not or maybe in the shower, when you're in the shower. Make sure you're getting a deep, resonant hum.
Mm-hmm.
And when it starts building those, the nitric oxide, that stuff really, I mean, it creates stem cells, it lowers your blood pressure. I mean, the list of what it does goes on and on and on, but mostly it makes your blood veins and arteries subtle, creates an inner lining, so that if you're have heart attack, heart disease in your family tree, or stroke, or anything that has to do with your veins and arteries, nitric oxide is a must to either reverse it or stop it in its tracks. You know, my goal was to reverse it, and I was able to do that. I don't know that it'll work for you, but without nitric oxide, I couldn't have done it.
Well, the final thing we're going to talk about on today's program, we're going to carry this over because we're not even halfway through this list here. But the last one we want to talk about was our very first program, and that was the Fountain of Youth drink. Talk to us about that real quick.
When I was recuperating from the stroke, I was listening to hundreds of different videos and audios and reading everything I could get my hands on about healing my body. And I continued to hear the same spices mentioned over and over, the same supplements mentioned over and over, you know. So I thought, wonder if anybody has ever put all of these things together. So I started creating a drink for me. It was just for me. And it had lots of different spices in it. It had nitric oxide in it. It had certain vitamins, certain minerals. It had all the, garlic. I just put them all in one drink, mixed them all together. And when I got up every morning, I drank that. And when I started doing that, I really started getting better faster. And so other people would talk about health, other people having health problems. You know, when you get older, you talk about your health to your friends because everybody likes to compare their illnesses. And I would tell them about the drink, and they say, "Oh, can you send me a copy?" Well, before long, I was sending out copies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, well, I'm just going to put this up on the website. So that's kind of where the Body of Health website started. I put the Fountain of Youth drink up there first, and it's still up there.
Yeah.
I made some adjustments and made it a little bit better. But you can go and get it for free. There's no charge. Go to bodyofhealth.life and look for the articles. It's probably the last one because it was first, and I think we put the others, the newer ones, on top. But it'll be easy to find. It's actually on there in several places, and give it a try. I mean, you can make it, drink it for several days, and then make another one and put it in the fridge and drink it for several days. Yeah. So it covers a lot of the things that we've already covered in the first 15.
Yeah. Well, we're going to continue this, and as we continue in our next program, part 2, if you will, we're going to continue on through the rest of the 39. Any final words on this segment as we are encouraging people to take advantage of autophagy, which I got right this time, autophagy and fasting and rebuilding their bodies?
Well, here's the thing. If you can just form a few of these habits, you don't have to do all 39. If you can just get the list, which is also free, it'll be up as an article on the site, and look through them and say, "Oh, I'm already doing this. Maybe I can just add one more." If you can just add one every week, because trying to form 39 habits at one time is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can just add one at a time over a period of time, you will see your health change.
Yeah, we encourage you to do that. And Dennis, thank you again for not only sharing this vital information, but also for sharing a wonderful little discount. If people go to bodyofhealth.life and they put into their cart all of the different elements that they want to help to extend their life and rebuild their health, if you will, put in radio when you're checking out, put in the code word, if you will, radio in the coupon field, and you'll get 20% off. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And remember, folks, your daily habits dictate your health, not anybody else's. Okay. I don't Don't look across the aisle. Or as Woody Allen said, I looked into the soul of the kid next to me in my metaphysics class and I got an F. But anyway, we hope that you will join us again next week on Body of Health, when we will continue the discussion on the Body of Health Longevity 39 Part Protocol. And we hope you will join us here on Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. And until our next broadcast, podcast, video cast, love to all. Jeanette, I'm still listening. Dad, continue to be happy because I am Smokey. I'll see you on the other side. Mike, thanks for being in my life and letting me be in yours. Michael, my brother, welcome to fatherhood, my friend, and to my dear friend Zorro. Aho, aho.